Lions and tigers and worst neighbors ever. Oh my! If you get it, you get it. If you don't, forget it. All right? HOA president jumped my fence. Again. I deleted this post earlier until we had talked to the police and lawyer. Before 7 this morning, I received a text from my daughter saying the HOA president had jumped my fence and woke her up to banging on the front door. She knew it wasn't right since we had a gated property and driveway, and I'm not going to be home until after the fireworks legally end. The dumbass demanded to see a garage I built recently and check if it met the HOA code. He tried this before, jumping the fence and all, and I ran him off with my side-by-side. His first way of contact was a letter in my mailbox, which I dropped off in his and wrote on it, "No." Apparently, he figured my daughter would be more agreeable, or more afraid of a man at the door that she might accept the behavior. He never met her, but he has now. She set her dogs, Thor and Loki, on him. Thor and Loki are extra-large American bullies. He got out of Dodge. She did call the cops and my lawyer when his office opened. Just got off the phone with him and he discussed it with the county and HOA president who has trespassed from my land and told that next time, keep in mind to protect my castle extends to the property line in my state. County PD told him and my lawyer that they never mentioned it. I did a dirty delete due to not being sure if the dogs would be in trouble for going after him and not wanting the proof on the internet. I should add, I'm not in the HOA. The developer that sold the houses to these transplants lied and said I had agreed and would be joining soon. That is a lie. They might have control over the houses surrounding me, but they have all jurisdiction on my dirt. If you have any advice on how to make their life hell, I have money, time, and almost no government regulations where I live. So I would love any advice on that. To answer a common question, yes, I am sure the house isn't in the HOA. The house was here when the HOA was cow pasture and not people. Edit/update. Today, my lawyer sent out letters to every member of the HOA and to the HOA itself. We will be pursuing harassment and emotional distress in the court of law. Currently, I'm told to not discuss this publicly, so I will be respecting my lawyer and his advice. Like moving forward, because you're already gone public. I need to know from anyone, does anyone like the HOA? Every time I cover an HOA story, everyone in the comments is HOA communities are the worst. It's like having a Karen in your life and you have no choice. Right? Does anyone actually like the HOA? Has the HOA ever done good things that people agree with? Literally, tell me in the comments, please. New neighbor thinks I'm having an affair when she doesn't know I have a twin brother. Plot twist. My wife and I have been living in our current neighborhood for about 2 years now. My next door neighbor moved in last April, married with no kids and works from home. I had my identical twin brother and his wife visit us last week of June, and they decided to stay over for a few days. Unfortunately, they arrived in the middle of the week and after lunch, so my wife and I were both at work. But we do use a smart lock, so I gave them remote access. They also came in by Uber from the airport, left their luggage at our house, and met my wife and I for dinner downtown. The next day, this neighbor approached my wife as she was about to leave for work the next morning. I left later than her, and my brother and sister-in-law were still asleep. She asks her if she knew anything or had noticed anything different about me. My wife was taken back a little bit by her question and asked why. She goes on saying she saw me, in quotations, bringing another woman home the day before in a different car. My wife realizes this neighbor's mistake and explains that my twin brother arrived in town. Our new neighbor gasped and is obviously embarrassed, but my wife handled it pretty calmly. She even showed our new neighbor our dinner picture with the twin brother and his wife. The new neighbor didn't see our group arriving back at home, so that made the assumption. My wife and I laughed about it when she shared it with me. All is well until I got a text from a neighbor close to me asking me what I've been up to. Apparently, the new neighbor quickly gossiped about me to others. It's annoying because, well, not everyone in the neighborhood saw my twin brother arriving because it was the middle of the day. Second, we realized the new neighbor talked to 3 other neighbors. Like, what the hell? My wife and I were unsure whether or not to explain to the rest what's really the deal, but at the same time, it's quite the effort. We thought of walking around the neighborhood with my brother and sister-in-law, and we did, but it's not like everyone is peeping through their windows or waiting at their porches. I get the whole women have women behind their back, just annoying how quick it spread to others without any attempt to confirm it first. Sharing this after the whole Coldplay concert issue, lol. I'm sure that CEO dude has no twin. No, I don't think he does. If you know, you know. And if not, Google it. It's quite the clip to watch, to be honest. Kudos to the neighbor for looking out, just going up to her, having a private, quiet, quick conversation. But it is the fact that she went around telling everyone before confirming the story. New neighbors came to my door asking to come in and watch TV. Okay, that could either be fun or really creepy. Let's see. I just moved into an apartment with my boyfriend about a month ago. We're both 24, and the community is extremely friendly and full of young working adults like us. We live in the building towards the back of the complex with a balcony facing into the parking lot. Let's call it Building A. And there are about 8 total buildings with a few buildings facing into the lot as well, and one directly parallel to our unit, Building B. Last night, Monday, we had my parents and my friend with her dog over for dinner and to just generally hang out. Before my parents arrived, my friend, boyfriend, and I were on the balcony just chatting, and we noticed 2 young men on the balcony across from us in Building B glancing over at us a few times, but paid no mind as they were tenants as well. They look fairly young, and recently we've noticed a large group of young men, like 7+, hanging around the parking lots and running into a few of them asking us for help in the package pickup room earlier in the week. We go back inside, my parents arrive, we enjoy dinner, and we're all watching some TV. Note, we did not let them into the mailroom when they asked. Fast forward to 9:30 p.m. We're all on the couch and my mom is on my balcony on the phone. We get a loud knock at our door and I go to the peephole and I see it's a young man that I haven't seen before. Early, mid-20s at best. I open it by myself, expecting it to be a neighbor on our floor complaining about the TV being too loud or something. He seems a little off and says that he's new to the neighborhood and asks if he can come inside and watch some TV because he doesn't have one yet. No way in absolute hell am I allowing a stranger into my home. I watch way too much true crime for that. No freaking way. Sorry, you're gonna have to survive without TV, my friend. No way. You let them in, then they chop you up and stuff you in the back of their TV. Like, no freaking way. Luckily, my escape is explaining my parents are over, so not tonight. But I ask if he's on this floor and he gives me his name and he says he's actually from Building B. The idiot gave me the exact unit number too. He leaves pretty calmly and I put it together that he's likely from that group of young men. My mom comes back inside and I explain everything and she says she heard someone run across the lot into our building in the dark and as he did, yell, "Her parents are home!" to someone. They think you live alone, girlfriend. This is terrifying. I was not going to let this random man in regardless, and I know that the "not tonight" was probably the worst possible response, but trying to keep cool and stay polite-ish in hopes that he would go away. For the next hour or so, we see the group looking through their blinds directly at us all over and over again, and also come out onto their balcony as a group and stare at our unit. So we shut our blinds and just try to ignore it. My boyfriend goes outside at one point and then they try to start calling him to get his attention, but he ignores them. This is probably just dumb kids thinking me and my friend, who was female, she had a female friend over, live here and they're trying to pick us up. But am I overreacting to say that it was weird behavior? It just feels odd that they felt comfortable to figure out which door was ours, come across buildings, and ask to come inside our space, especially with guests that they knew were here. I don't think it warrants escalating to our leasing staff just yet, but not sure if I should put it on their radar or not, since they know which door to go to if they choose to try again. See, that would never sit right with me. Because yeah, they probably thought you and your girlfriend lived there. They could have thought the boyfriend was a brother. They saw your mom. Terrifying. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Even when I lived on my own, obviously like when I wasn't dating Matt, I would just tell people that I didn't live alone. I would say, no, me and my boyfriend rent this unit. If like neighbors just in conversation, oh, you live in the building? Do you have roommates? Like just casual. Cause I'm like, I trust nobody. Even if you're nice, even if it's a girl, you might just be nice and lovely. I don't trust nobody. You don't gotta know my business. Let's hop on hydration station. Grab your beverage, but really, cheers. You should drink some water. I don't make the rules, but it's good for you apparently, so. Loud, rude neighbor. My girlfriend and I moved into a new apartment 3 months ago. Overall, we love our place, but so far I've dealt with some serious problems. First issue. Our neighborhood has some really bad parking issues. The weekend I moved in, the leasing office gave me permission to park in one of the handicap spots in front of my apartment to unload, because there's typically only one family that uses it and there are 4 available stalls. I parked overnight because I had no other place to move my car, with the intention of moving it first thing in the morning. When I went to my car in the morning, someone left a note on my car that summed up read, "There were nowhere to park and I came to pick up my son. Don't park here again." A homophobic slur, I will say, because we're obviously not going to say that on YouTube or ever. I was really effing heated about that, and I made the dumb decision of tearing up the note instead of taking it to my leasing office. Why this is relevant will come up later. Issue 2. I have 3 upstairs neighbors, 2 women and 1 10-year-old boy. Occasionally, 2 different men will come over whom I assume are boyfriends or baby dad. At first, we didn't have any issues with them. The woman would sometimes hang out on the 3rd floor balcony and watch us, but I paid them no mind. However, the past 2 weeks, it's been non-stop running and stomping from upstairs at all hours of the day. I assume since it's summer break, the mom just lets the kids run haywire throughout the apartment and doesn't do anything about it. After weeks of it, yesterday was my breaking point. There was rampant stomping and jumping and things being dropped on the floor. I went upstairs and I knocked on the door. One of the ladies answered and I politely told her that it was really loud. She dismissed me and told me it was her kid's birthday party and they had people over. I tried to explain that it's been going on for weeks and she just rolled her eyes and closed the door in my face. I was fuming, but didn't want to escalate it. Forward to tonight, there was running and stomping going at 11:30 at night. My girlfriend was trying to get some sleep and was sick of it, so she went upstairs to talk to her. My girlfriend tried to once again politely explain the situation, and the lady said, "That's why I live on the 3rd floor and not the 2nd," and slammed the door on her face. My girlfriend knocked again, and the lady yelled at her saying, "I'm not dealing with your shite," and slammed the door again. She proceeds to spend the following 15 minutes stomping around and throwing stuff on the ground for us to hear. Getting back to the note now. The reason it's relevant is that we've noticed the kid's father will sometimes come over in a small fire truck to pick up his son and will usually park in the handicap spot. So we're pretty sure it's related. We've recorded a lot of the stomping and some of the conversation, but the audio quality isn't great. We plan to talk to the leasing office tomorrow. These people are clearly unhinged. I'm very courteous and I like to be non-confrontational at all times, but clearly they're not having it. I don't trust strangers at all, and I fear this escalating into a harassment campaign against, or worse, becoming violent in some manner. I'm having severe anxiety thinking about having to deal with this for the rest of my lease, especially since I take frequent long work trips leaving my girlfriend home alone. Yeah. My girlfriend wants to call the police, but I'm afraid of escalating it for the previous reasons. Maybe try with the leasing office first. Maybe they can give a warning before going to the cops. You know it's going to escalate the second you contact anyone about it. Yeah. Poured liquid ass where neighborhood gremlin sits all day. What is that? Yup, liquid ass. It's a novelty prank item and it smells like raw sewage. Oh, I've seen people do pranks with that on TikTok. I woke up early today, so I took advantage of that by taking the whole bottle, walked my happy butt over to where this disgusting blob hangs out all day, and I emptied the whole bottle right where he sits. He 100% deserves this. He doesn't have a job or a car, and he doesn't go anywhere. All he does is hang out in front of the building all day smoking weed and cigarettes with his pants sagged so his nasty underwear is hanging out. I don't care if he smokes. The issue is that he coughs, scream retches, scream gags, and scream spits up after every single hit, pretty much. Every day is hours of him retching, gagging, and spitting up so loud you can hear him from a block away or inside with your doors closed and your TV on. He does not care about how disgusting this all appears to the neighborhood. He does not care if he's being a nuisance. It has been 3 years. Our building manager has had to go over to where him and his other gremlins hang out to clean up after them occasionally, because even after being told that they have to clean up after themselves because they hang out on someone else's property, who has been nice enough to say yes and that they can sit on these steps, they're not allowed to sit in front of the building. They leave cigarette butts over there. So they don't even live there? They're just hanging out at someone's house, or do they live there? They must live there if they're a neighbor. Additionally, he and his crew of unemployed men that need hobbies have let several individuals who are not supposed to be in the building inside, such as their dealers or people who do crystal, we will say. They have been told they are not allowed to have these people in the building, so what they do is bring these people in from the back entrance, thinking they're avoiding the cameras. I've watched this with my own eyes 2 different times. They deserve so much more than just to stink. The crazy part is he's sitting directly on top of where I poured it. It's only been out there for about 2 hours and the smell is so strong, there's no way it dissipated already. I poured it onto concrete steps, so I'm sure it soaked into the concrete. It must still stink to high heaven, and he's just sitting there hanging out like it's another day. Ugh. It has to be on his clothes by now, so he's just going to be walking back to his apartment stinking like sewage. I wonder if he's even noticed, or if he doesn't care. I'm going to keep doing it now and then because he deserves to smell just as disgusting as he looks and behaves. This is very aggressive, I gotta say. You really hate this man. Right before I hit post, another gremlin went out and sat in the spot. The Mucinex blob keeps leaving. Maybe he does notice the smell. This particular gremlin tried to start an argument with me by pretty much running in front of me while I was walking down the sidewalk to step directly in front of me, hoping for an altercation when my bag brushed his arm because he literally ran in front of me. He started making all types of comments, to which I ignored at first, but then promptly turned around and made him feel like an idiot. He did all of this because there's a new neighbor next door who he and the other gremlins were fighting with because the new neighbor was telling their to get out of the neighborhood and ended up calling the cops. This gremlin was all ornery over the situation and he knows I don't mess with them, so he tried to start an issue with me and then blamed me for slashing the new neighbor's tires when it was obviously their friend that did that. I don't know. This is a lot of anger for someone who sits there, smokes, and retches a lot. It must be worse than what I'm picturing in my head, to be honest. And obviously bringing shrug dealers, illegally into the building when you're not allowed. Like, I understand need for concern. But this seems like you got a lot of beef with them. Sick and tired of them. I am not the homeowner. It's my dad, and my dad, he's a very kind man. Love my dad. I wish he had a revenge idea, but since my neighbor's daughter is my childhood friend, he doesn't want to hurt what I have with her. A little recent lore about the neighbors. My neighbor is a family. Their daughter is my childhood friend, although we haven't kept up in years once we entered high school. She got a new stepdad that her mom remarried to, and he's become the new homeowner next door after mom kicked out my friend's biological dad. Well, the mom was cheating from the start of the relationship. She decided to remarry to get her papers, and now she thinks she's white and that she can run the whole town. She's embarrassing for the Latina community. Your words, not mine. And this new family has kids that think they are hot crap as well. My friend's bio dad didn't know the whole time the mom was cheating behind his back. Now he lives in the middle of nowhere, and even though my friend visits her dad very often, he is struggling to maintain a new home. Just so he didn't have to struggle financially, he gave the house away to the mom. The mom also bought the house next door to hers, so she has a dual property now. That's to her new husband. Damn! How much money do you have? You got 2 houses right next to each other? That aside, let's get to the brief lore about the mom. Total dumbass. Ever since me and my friend were kids, she herself doesn't know how to cook. She would buy her kids junk food. Yes, junk food. No actual proper meal was ever made in that house. I visited there often, and my friend and her sisters suffered the consequences of obesity and diabetes. One time, my friend had an allergic reaction, and my dad saved her life. And the mom? Not a thank you in sight. That woman is ungrateful and spiteful. We've been nothing but kind, helped her when she was abused, helped her when her house was on fire, she was robbed, etc. And now that she has papers, she thinks she owns everyone. She works as a server, giving herself easy to her bosses and instructors. It's embarrassing. You have a very personal vendetta against this woman. The beef. My dad, about 15 years prior, had settled with my friend's dad about how much property each of them had. My dad wanted to make things nice and easy for the bio dad, so he let him have an extra inch of my dad's property to build a fence. Sadly, the biological dad didn't have the money to do that, and he never made it happen. So the new dad, when the other dad came in, my dad tried to be kind and let him know all of this, but the stepdad was an ass. He did not care and started to use that 1 inch of property. In addition, he decided to make himself a gate and use the fencing from our yard to hold it together. Anytime they slam their gate, it weakens our fence. To add on to that as well, we have a drainage pipe for water, and they cemented the drain. I'm also going to add that they party every weekend, blasting their music up until 2 to 5 a.m. in the morning. They don't let us sleep at all. It's unbelievable. We've called the cops, told the city, made reports, tried to lawyer up, but it's nothing but costly add-ons. At this point, I'm tired of them. My dad wants to move away, but the house we live in has such good amenities. It's close to downtown, near a post office, near to busy food streets. It's such a convenience, and my dad wouldn't like to move away from the house that me and my siblings have lived in since we were babies. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't want to affect my relationship with my friend, even though I stated that it wouldn't hurt our friendship. What should I do? What should I tell him to do? I'm tired of them. They're rude, cruel, and want to live the American dream, but they're a nuisance while trying to achieve that. I'm surprised though that all the noise complaints, if they're partying and stuff, wouldn't all those noise complaints add up every time the police is called and you're like, can nothing really be done? That would be exhausting. Let me know your thoughts and feelings. I'll see you in the comment section. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy. Bye.